Hello and welcome to the evening news for today, Tuesday, November 25, 2014. I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for joining us. In the headlines, Harman admits APNU has no control over what its leaders say. Glenlal gets breather in tax fraud case. Region 2 invests $81 million to improve drainage. Bosai calls for peace among workers. And Guyana to benefit from Hallmark youth policy. Now for the news in detail. A Partnership for National Unity APNU General Secretary Joseph Harman today admitted that a coalition group has no control over what their speakers say on political platforms. He said that while a party can give guidance so as to its position on various matters, it cannot dictate how that message is put forth to the public. Harman was being questioned by this media house as to the coalition's position on intimidatory comments made by its vice chairman, Dr. Rupert Roopnarine, who had called for a boycott of the Guyana Times and several other news agencies. Roopnarine has been severely criticized for the comments he made by several stakeholders of society. Harman was careful enough to explain that APNU does not support a boycott of any media house or businesses, even though he sought to justify the statements made by Roopnarine. Kaicho News publisher Glenn Lal and his wife Beena made their second court appearance at the Georgetown Magistrates Courts on Monday morning on multiple tax evasion charges. Here's what transpired at that hearing.
The case, which has been the subject of public speculation in the last months, was adjourned by Magistrate Judy Latchman to January 8, 2015. The Lals co-accused, the migrant couple Narutandio and Garbasi Brijnanan, were no-shows for the second time. Their attorney Ramjutan has since said that his client had undergone a recent eye surgery, hence could not have made it. The four are charged with attempting to defraud the Guyana Revenue Authority and by extension the state of over $100 million in taxes payable on the import of two luxury SUV vehicles from the USA. The Brijnanans imported the vehicles under the government's remigrant scheme allegedly for the Lals. In addition to those two charges, they were slapped with 2 counts of aiding and abetting in conspiracy to defraud the government of due taxes. To all the charges, the Lals pleaded not guilty. During their first court appearance before Chief Magistrate Priya Bihari, the couple were released on their own recognizance as their attorney Kemaraj Ramjutan successfully submitted a bail application.
After days of industrial action, workers attached to the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission have resumed work after being promised an 8% across-the-board increase. Royden James reports.
Chairman of the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, Clinton Williams, today confirmed that staff members will be given an 8% across-the-board increase. Williams, in a telephone interview with this newscast, said that workers have returned to work as per normal from Monday and are awaiting the negotiations to be completed before giving their salary increases. He said the union has agreed to the 8% across-the-board increase, which means that the performance evaluation method is out the door. Last week, GGMC had issued a statement saying it will reject any political interference in the ongoing strike actions. The statement also noted that the management, along with the board of directors, continued its effort to take a number of initiatives to address the issue. According to Senior Industrial Relations Officer Dennis English, negotiations for the 2013 salary increases began back in 2012, but nothing seems to be enough as far as convincing the management to meet the needs of the workers. English noted that the union was pushing for the interim increase during the negotiation period to ensure that workers did not lose out from the negotiating process. Royden James, reporting for Evening News.
A Partnership for National Unity APNU today held another demonstration in front of the Office of the President against the prorogation of Parliament. The protesters marched in front of Office of the President as they called on President Donald Ramotar to lift the suspension of the National Assembly. APNU has said that it will continue to protest until the President dissolves or reconvenes the National Assembly. More news still ahead. Stay tuned. This is the Evening News. Welcome back. This is the Evening News on TVG. Human Services and Social Security Minister Jennifer Webster disclosed today that so far 10 women have been murdered by their spouses in 2014.
And to date, 10 women have lost their lives so far this year. Last year, there were some 20 women. There were more than 20 women who lost their lives last year.
That was Minister Jennifer Webster as she addressed the gathering of men and women at the Interfaith Service. The service was held to observe International Day of Violence Against Women and to mark the commencement of the Women's Affairs Bureau's 16 days of activism. Webster spoke on many issues surrounding violence against women, urging males to treat women with the respect they deserve.
Our men must recognize that they were born into a world where they were born by their mothers. And as the saying goes, mothers are the backbone of a family. And we must remember, and I'm speaking first to the men, because men are very important to our society. The socialization process, as other speakers would have said, is very important. And men must recognize the need to treat women with respect, to uphold the dignity of women, and not to vilify women.
Also speaking at the event was United Nations Fund for Population Activities, UNFPA, Patrice Lafleur, who called on parents to play a role in fostering and upbringing gentlemen in society.
As parents, what are you doing to ensure that first of all you socialize your children, boys and girls, in a particular way so that they respect each other and that violence is never a response to a conflict or an issue?
Head of the Women's Affairs Bureau, Hemwiti Leguan, shared details about some of the activities planned to mark the period of activism.
25th of November marks the day. The 1st of December marks World AIDS Day. And the 10th of December culminates with International Human Rights Day. We have activities that are running throughout, and like you would have heard, I said that we are heightening awareness. We're trying to bring this issue out so that people understand their rights. They understand that if something happens to them, where they must go. And gender-based violence is it's a human right. It's the violation of human rights. And so we don't want that to be violated. We want everyone to understand their roles and their responsibilities towards each other. So if you see that something is happening to someone, it's your right as a Guyanese to help that person.
The Interfaith Service featured prayers, inspirational speeches, and various performances highlighting gender-based violence. It was themed From Peace in the Home to Peace in the World, Let's End Gender-Based Violence. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Erica Williams.
With the rising incidence of rape, sexual slavery and murder across the globe, United Nations General Secretary Ban Ki-moon is urging persons to break the silence in violence against women. Alexis Rodney reports.
The United Nations General Secretary made the declaration during his message to mark International Day of the Elimination of Violence Against Women, to raise awareness and trigger action to end the global scourge of violence against women and girls. The United Nations observes International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women on November 25. Moon said with the more than 200 girls kidnapped in Nigeria, graphic testimony from Iraqi women of rape and sexual slavery during a conflict, young females raped, killed and left to hang from trees, and the numerous high-profile cases of sexual violence, the world needs to take stock of the debilitating condition. UN Women Executive Director Fumzeli Malabo, in her message, said violence against women can and must end by addressing its root cause of gender inequality. In Guyana, the day is being observed under the theme From Peace in the Home to Peace in the World. Let's end gender-based violence. According to Women Affairs Bureau Administrator Hemwati Leguan, 16 days beginning today has been set aside to visit schools and workplaces to interact with the students and workers about gender-based violence. She said the visits will give persons the opportunity to find answers to their many questions. For the Evening News, I'm Alexis Rodney.
Chief Executive Officer of Roraima Airways and long-serving member of the Aircraft Owners Association of Guyana, Captain Jerry Gavaya, has come out strongly against comments made by security official for the Caribbean Airlines, Wilfred McIntyre, on Monday with regards to illegal activities perpetrated at airports. More from Samantha Lane.
Captain Gavaya, who has served with distinction as a former Army officer with the Guyana Defense Force Air Command, has called the statements utter foolishness. Speaking with TVG, Gavaya said that the statements were outlandish and appalling. He lamented that the statements made by the CAL official are a slap in the face of the airport staff who were keeping the airports safe on a daily basis, and those hard-working, honest Guyanese who toil around the clock to ensure the smooth flow of activities at the country's main ports of entry. Gavaya further stated that he's unaware of the methods that would have been used or if any surveys were conducted to come up with the findings. On Monday, at a workshop organized by high-level officials attached to the Ogle International Airport, Wilfred McIntyre, a security official for Caribbean Airlines, related that some 98.6% of crimes done at airports are committed with the help of airport staff members. McIntyre related that this figure was acquired from studies relative to the Caribbean and South America, but did not name the source of the information. The workshop saw the presence of Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohi, Crime Chief Leslie James, Customs and Anti-Narcotics Unit Kanu Head James Singh, and other professionals within the aviation sector. For the Evening News, Samantha Lane.
The Region 2 administration, through the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, has invested $81 million to improve drainage and irrigation throughout the entire Essequibo coast. The desilting of the drainage and irrigation canals came at an opportune time when Guyana has been experiencing continuous downpours. The works executed aimed at helping to eradicate flooding in residential and farm areas on the coast. Region 2 Chairman Parmanand Prasad, who inspected the desilting works at Kapui, opined that the project will help to improve drainage between the vicinity of Johanna Cecilia and Dartmouth. According to the chairman, desilting works are currently in progress at the Walton Hall Paradise areas. Inspection was also conducted at Queenstown, which was recently flooded. Prasad said he is pleased with the works done by the contractor. Stay tuned, more news ahead. Welcome back. This is the Evening News. In this report, we'll hear that works on the East Bank and East Coast Demerara roads are progressing well despite minor delays in some areas.
According to Head of Work Services Group Jeffrey Vaughan, the two major road projects in Demerara are progressing well in time to meet the new deadline. As it relates to the East Bank, Vaughan noted lots 1 and 2 should be wrapping up by the end of December. However, he pointed out that with the current inclement weather, this might not be possible. Nevertheless, the ministry is pushing the contractors to meet this deadline. On the other hand, the completion of Lot 3 has been pushed back to next year due to the construction of the High Bridge at Diamond. The progress of works on this lot is just over 50%, he disclosed. Vaughan further stated that there are some issues with regards to utility. He noted that the ministry is currently compiling the addendum with GT&T for them to remove the last set of buried cables in Lot 3 and the adjoining lot between 2 and 3. Meanwhile, the WSG revealed that the preliminary works on the East Coast Road are almost done. He said that the contractors are currently wrapping up works in the various lots. Initially, government had tried to finance the road expansion project on the East Coast. However, funding was not readily available. As such, the administration decided to use local funds to do preliminary work, which entails the installation of concrete drains and backfilling. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchan.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Public Works on Saturday last injected some $9.2 billion in contracts in an effort to make the West Coast Demerara roads safer. More from Royden James.
The Public Works Ministry on Saturday last inked a $9.2 billion contract with several contractors for varying aspects of a major road improvement project, paving the way for a colossal transformation of the West Coast Highway. The money, which was approved in the 2014 budget, is provided primarily through the Caribbean Development Bank and the Government of Guyana. The road network's upgrade will cater for pavement rehabilitation, road widening and separation to lane for cyclists and pedestrians, installation of traffic signs, traffic lights and road markings, replacement of the Groeneveld Bridge, relocation of utilities and general repairs. Meanwhile, Public Works Minister Robeson Ben pointed out that this project is a major step forward with regards to the development of public infrastructure in Guyana. He noted that the constant improvement of the road infrastructure has been the primary focus of the government. The objective of this project is to increase efficiency and safety of road transportation along the west coast Demerara. It is in this line that the roads were done in the west coast Berbice, East Berbice stretching to Molson Creek, and current upgrade projects such as the East Bank Demerara 4-lane highway expansion and road fills in preparation for the upgrade of the East Coast Demerara roads. Royden James reporting for Evening News.
A day after workers attached to the Chinese firm Bosai Minerals staged a massive protest for pay increase, the company has called on all employees to work with management to bring a resolution. Alexis Rodney reports.
On Monday, over 200 employees protested outside of the company, refusing to work unless they were assured that they are paid an 8.5% increase across the board, instead of the 6% proposal increase. However, the company in a release said it is calling on employees to negotiate through its representatives to immediately end the wages impasse, noting that both company and workers' interests could be affected in the long run. The company said the current international reduced demand for bauxite products and fragility of the international markets have forced the company to make an offer of 6% as it is concerned for the welfare of its employees and their families. According to the employees, the management of the bauxite mining company is currently proposing the 6% increase, but they are demanding an increase of 8% and nothing less. Vice Chairman of the National Association of Agriculture, Commercial and Industrial Employees NASI Union's Linden Branch, Erin Tishmaker, said workers are dissatisfied with the way in which negotiations are progressing with the management of the BMGGI. Only last year, employees had staged a protest over a pay dispute when a 3.5% increase was proposed by the company. For the Evening News, Alexis Rodney.
Culture, Youth and Sport Minister Dr. Frank Anthony on Monday confirms that Guyana will be benefiting from a hallmark national youth policy which was promised some years ago. The details in this report.
Culture, Youth and Sport Minister Dr. Frank Anthony told his news team on Monday in a telephone interview that Guyana will soon be benefiting from a new and improved hallmark national youth policy, even though a specific date is not yet being confirmed. He said that the United Nations have agreed to fund the program and they are now waiting on UNICEF to finalize the process. The aim of the national youth policy is to respond to the challenges facing youths in Guyana while creating opportunities for them to further transform their lives through equitable access to education, housing, health services, and economic opportunities. The policy will be supplemented with a strategic implementation plan inclusive of a monitoring and evaluation framework that identifies clear activities, actions, goals and timelines. Back in October of 2013, the National Youth Steering Committee was in the process of completing data collection after traveling most regions in Guyana, conducting focus group sessions, consultations, and administration of questionnaires. Back in 2011, the minister had announced the commencement of a countrywide consultation on the document to meet the changing socio-economic circumstances facing Guyanese youths. These consultations and distribution of 2,500 questionnaires concluded about 3 years after, but all the minister is saying is that the document is being completed. One wonders what is causing the delay. Many persons have contended that it is situations like these that jeopardize the outstanding work done by the government over the last 22 years to advance the interests of youth in the areas of health, education and sport. It also sends the wrong message to young people who have been eagerly awaiting the impact of government policy that would have emanated from their direct input. Royden James reporting for the Evening News.
Your regional, international and bridge reports are still ahead. Welcome back. This is the Evening News. In the region, St. Lucia has slapped a temporary ban on the importation of all poultry and poultry products from the United Kingdom as a result of an outbreak of the bird flu there. The Ministry of Agriculture said the ban was imposed in light of information received from the Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs in the United Kingdom, confirming that the country recently experienced an outbreak of the highly pathogenic avian influenza. Internationally, U.S. town of Ferguson has seen rioting and looting after a jury decided not to bring charges over the killing of a black teenager. Michael Brown was shot by a white police officer, Darren Wilson, on August 9, sparking protests. A police chief said the latest violence in the suburb of St. Louis, Missouri, was probably much worse than on any night since the teenager's death. St. Louis County Police Chief John Belmer said rioters had fired 150 shots. Many in the African-American community had called for Wilson to be charged with murder, but after 3 months of deliberation, a Missouri grand jury of 9 white and 3 black members made no recommendation of charges. President Barack Obama joined the teenager's family on Monday in appealing for calm, urging Americans to accept the decision that was the grand jury's to make. This is Evening News. We now take a look at your bridge reports. The Demerara Harbour Bridge is expected to be closed from 5 hours on Wednesday, November 26 for a period of 1.5 hours, and the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed from 6 hours 45 on Wednesday, November 26 for a period of 1.5 hours. Join us after the break for sports, sponsored by MacCorp. This is the Evening News.
Every day presents a few more challenges. Keeping your business running shouldn't be one of them. That's why we work every day towards ensuring your overall satisfaction. With over 100 skilled technicians and engineers equipped with the tools and skills to help you do more. With the largest parts inventory in Guyana, over 10,000 line items readily available. Driven by your success is not just a set of words to us. It is a code by which we live. That is why we are proud to say that we are Victory!
Welcome back. Now for a look at sport, but first the headlines. Big Brawl boxing card set for January 2015. Flex night preparations taking shape. Umada Cup chess tourney to invade Guyana on Thursday. And Pirmal spins Guyana Jaguars to second successive win. Of course, the sportcast comes to the kind compliments of MacCorp.
Every day presents a few more challenges. Keeping your business running shouldn't be one of them. That's why we work every day towards ensuring your overall satisfaction. With over 100 skilled technicians and engineers equipped with the tools and skills to help you do more. With the largest parts inventory in Guyana, over 10,000 line items readily available. Driven by your success is not just a set of words to us. It is a code by which we live. That is why we are proud to say that we are Victory!
Welcome back. Now for the details. We start off with some boxing news. The Guyana Boxing Board of Control will stage the Big Brawl, a 5-fight card set for January 24 at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall. The event will be headlined by the return of Edmund Declue, who suffered a broken jaw in his last fight in October 2013 against Derek Richmond. Declue will now face Gladwin Dorway in an 8-round middleweight clash. Dexter Marks and Quincy Gomes will square off in a 6-round catchweight contest, while German Estwick will make his debut against Eversley Brown in a junior middleweight 4-rounder, and newcomer Keen Alicock will face David Thompson in a 4-round lightweight bout. The lone female fight will also feature a debutante, with Simone Hyde starting her career against the veteran Shelley Gibson. Action will start at 20 hours and admission to any part of the sports hall will be $1,000. The Ghana Chess Federation is working overtime to ensure a successful hosting of the prestigious Omada Cup chess tournament, built to start on Thursday in Georgetown. We caught up with President of the Federation, Irshad Mohammed, who gave an update with regards to preparations for the tournament. During an exclusive interview with this newscast today, Mohammed pointed out that all systems are in place for a 5-day tournament slated to be held from Thursday to December 1 at a sleep-in hotel on Brigdam.
Some of the players started to arrive today. We have the Dominican Republic, 2 players from Dominican Republic arrived today, and majority of the players will be arriving tomorrow. So in terms of the hotel accommodation, the venue, all these things are already in place for the hosting of this tournament. Initially, 17 countries were invited to compete at the 5th annual tournament, but only 6 would take to the tables come on Thursday. Guyana apart, players would come from Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Jamaica, Suriname and the Dominican Republic. Well, we have the strongest contingent will be coming from Suriname, close to 14 players from Suriname. We have about 8 coming from Trinidad, 3 from Barbados, 3 from Jamaica, the 2 from Dominican Republic, and plus our local counterparts will be engaged in the activity. Mohammed also used the opportunity to underscore the importance of Ghana hosting such a prestigious tournament for the first time. It is very important in Ghana in terms of development of chess. Let's hope it can stimulate more interest among local players, and so far we have gotten a reasonable response from the local players. We are looking to get at least close to 40 local players playing in this tournament. The tournament, according to Mohammed, is being organized under the auspices of the current president of FIDE, the world governing body for chess, Kirzhan Ilyumzhinov. The tournament will be held in 2 categories, one for players in the open section and another for those in the challenger section. Both sections will be played under the Swiss system for 9 rounds and will be FIDE rated. A grand payout package of $16,000 would be at stake. Some cricket news now. The left-arm spinner Veerasammy Permaul spun webs around the Windward Islands volcano batsman, snaring career-best figures of 8 for 36 to lead Guyana Jaguars to a commanding 92-run win in round 2 of the WICB's Professional Cricket League at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence. Guyana started the day on 133 for 5 and eventually declared after adding 42 runs for the loss of 1 wicket, selling the visitors 283 for victory in just over 2 sessions. Devon Smith put the hosts on alert by racing to 43 by lunch, which was taken at 69 for 1 after 15 overs. However, upon resumption, Permaul proceeded to trample upon Windward's batting, snuffing out wickets at will on a pitch that remained true for batting. Final scores in the game: Guyana 291 and 175 for 6 declared. The Windward Islands Volcanoes 184 and 190. All systems are falling in place for the highly anticipated Flex Night International, set for December 7 at the National Cultural Center. As preparations continue, Copa Airlines has become the latest company to join hands with the organizers. A lucky patron of Flex Night International on December 7 at the National Cultural Center will win a return ticket to any of Copa Airlines' 69 destinations, as the company announced its alliance with the organizers at a simple ceremony on Monday afternoon. Country sales manager of Copa Airlines, Nadine Outkirk, in the company of Flex Night officials Donald Sinclair and David Gomes, announced a partnership at the company's Camp Street location.
We're pleased today to be able to partner officially with Flex Night Incorporated for their yearly bodybuilding and responsible fitness competition that they portray and that they are always marketing, and it's always a good thing to be able to do something like this, and we're very pleased and proud to be on board with Flex Night.
For us, it's a very exciting partnership, not only for the directors of Flex Night and the athletes, but it's exciting for every person who is going to be buying a ticket on December the 7th to go to the Flex Night at National Cultural Center. Because as the country sales manager mentioned, Copa flies to 69 destinations in 30 countries. And what Copa is offering us this afternoon as a concrete testimony and in that partnership is a return ticket which some lucky patron is going to win.
So far, a total of 32 males have registered, while a record 9 females have so far signed up. Apart from the actual on-stage performances, there will be much more for patrons to look forward to. I remember well in 2012 you had, apart from the actual on-stage performances, you had booths set up outside. Is that a feature this year?
Yes, in the lower lobby, the sponsors are going to be displaying their products during the intermission and before the show starts, right? So this year that will be the same feature, okay? Because it's a whole experience of health, where you learn about products, the nutritional products, what is good for your body, and so on. You can interact and learn about vitamins, supplements. So we make that part of the total Flex Night experience.
According to Sinclair, one of the new features this year would be the participation of 6 prisoners, an initiative that was coordinated by Flex Night in partnership with the Prison Service and Demerara Mutual.
The first Flex Night, they were in the audience. Now they're on the stage, and we're very happy about that. You know, it's all part of the initiative announced by the Minister of Home Affairs in 2011 to put an emphasis not so much on punishment, but on rehabilitation and on correction. So we're happy that Flex Night can play a part in that, in bringing inmates to display their physical development on stage.
Of point to note, the weighing of athletes will take place on the day of the event at 15 hours at the National Cultural Centre. And finally in sports, some sad news. The Australian batsman Phil Hughes is in a critical condition after being hit by a bouncer at the Sydney Cricket Ground. The South Australian left-hander, aged 25, collapsed after a delivery from New South Wales bowler Sean Abbott struck him on the head, missing his helmet. Hughes was carried off on a stretcher and was taken to hospital, where he was put in an induced coma following surgery. Cricket Australia team Dr. Peter Buckner said there would be no update on his condition until Wednesday. Australian media, however, reported that Hughes stopped breathing at one point and needed mouth-to-mouth resuscitation at the side of the pitch. Cricket Australia said on its official website that Hughes had been struck on the back lower left side of the head. And with that, we've come to the end of sport, which is sponsored by MacCorp. And that's a wrap as well in the evening news for today, Tuesday, November 25, 2014. Of course, you can find these and many more stories in tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times. And here's an invitation to join us on TVG Channel 28 and on Radio Guyana Inc. 89.3 in Essequibo, 89.5 in Georgia and Environs, and 89.7 in Berbice and Unicary, Suriname. On behalf of all of us here, I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching.